Alright people, hope you're all doing fantastically well on this fine Wednesday morning. It is the full Neville show. I hope you're all doing very, very well. And if you're not, hope things will get better for you. So, I've got some interesting stuff that have happened all in one day really. Tuesday was very, very eventful. We're going to be talking about the Champions League. We're going to be talking about, my Premier League predictions, the team of the week, some other news as well that's happened in the footballing world. I was just looking at my stuff. The Yorkshire Review has returned. I forgot to do that for a couple of times now, but we're going to do it in certain parts today. So I've got my questions here. Well, I asked myself the questions and nobody asks them for me. I run the show. I ask myself questions. So, yeah, let's go. So, the Premier League questions are today. The next Premier League manager to be sacked. Well, they're not all Premier League questions, by the way. But yeah, the next Premier League manager to be sacked. Is this the beginning of the end for Maurizio Pochettino after Spurs were absolutely embarrassed by Bayern Munich, losing 7-2 at home? Are Leicester and West Ham going to get into the Champions League? When will Nathan Jones be sacked by Stoke? Who will win the Champions League? And will all Premier League new boys stay in the Premier League? Let's find out. So this is part one, because I want to attract more views, so people are watching like half an hour videos. I actually did get a like and a view last time, which was good. So thank you to whoever that was. But I just want to bring people in so they can like this show. Right. Next Premier League manager to be sacked. Right, well, this is an interesting one because there's quite a few contenders. By the way, I don't think it'll be Quique Sanchez-Flores. He's just been appointed the Watford manager. He's managed 3 games. Come on. I mean, I know I lost 8-0 against Man City, but Man City could beat anybody 8-0, even us. I wouldn't be surprised if we went and lost 12-0 to City. That would be really painful. But yeah, there is quite a few contenders though. I think now. I think there's going to be questions about Pochettino's future. There already is. Apparently, Gareth Southgate is one of the favourites to possibly take over, the England manager favourite to replace Maurizio Pochettino at Spurs. He was actually linked with the job at United when Ole first, took over as interim manager. But I have to say, I am really shocked by Tottenham. I didn't think it would be this bad. I predicted Bayern to win, but I didn't predict them to lose 7-2. I didn't even, I predicted them to lose 2-1. I thought it would be a really, really tight game. But that is just not right. There's something not right at Spurs. And I said this last week, there's something not quite right at Tottenham, and I think there will be questions asked over him. Graham Potter, the Brighton manager, I think it's the first time he's ever managed in the Premier League, but he's only won 1 game so far out of his opening 7. Obviously, the win at Watford. And they've got Spurs this weekend. I think they will sense an opportunity here at the weekend. But yeah, I think Graham Potter might be feeling the pressure, although it is a very, very difficult, obviously losing to Chelsea last week. They play well, Chelsea. He likes to play an attacking style of play, likes to play out from the back. They're making a lot of mistakes, but 1 win all season so far. They're near the relegation zone. Not looking good. In Brighton's point of view at this current point. Maybe he could be under pressure. Obviously, there's talks of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I heard yesterday that he was going to be safe until the end of the season. So United fans, get your seatbelt on because it could be a one hell of a ride in terms of a downpour season for United fans. Marco Silva, massively underachieving at Everton. I think he could go down. I think he could be sacked as well. I really think Everton have backed him massively. I know losing to Man City, it's forgivable because Man City destroy everybody, and if you beat them, it's rare, like Norwich did, but I think Everton at this moment in time, I'm Marco Silva, I know they were linked with him when he were at Watford, and he was doing a decent job, then it went downhill because of he got linked with the Everton job, but I was actually quite surprised he got the Everton job a little bit because I thought, is he the right man? He's failed at Hull, got them relegated, and, made Watford relegation contenders. So, is he the right man for Everton, of a club so big? And, they've massively underachieved with an amazing squad that should be challenging for the Champions League places. And I think, Everton have massively underachieved. Newcastle, Steve Bruce, again, not good at all. I predicted Newcastle to go down. I thought they appointed Steve Bruce because they were already preparing for the Championship. But what I have to say is that, 5-0 defeat at Leicester, not good at all. I know they had a sending off. I don't think it was a red card personally. It looks like it at first. I can understand the referee, Craig Parsons' view. But, sorry. But looking at the tackle, I think he's unlucky. He's trying to get the ball. Ball goes out of the way, catches him with a follow through. I think if it were me, if I don't know how the VAR absolutely, it's very rare that they look at the monitor, isn't it? But if I looked at the monitor, I think I would have gone back and booked him, looking at it from a slowish angle, because it real time I can understand it looks quite bad, but that's my opinion. Anyway, but Newcastle, disgraceful performance at Leicester. The fans were the only good thing about the game. The only good thing. The Newcastle supporters came to a piss wet through King Power Stadium. It was absolutely raining, hammering it down, and the Newcastle fans went up there and they had the pride for their team, losing 5-0. Still singing about still supporting the team, still chanting, still singing. They were fantastic. And, I really feel bad for Newcastle. I really, really do. There's talks of a takeover all the time and it just ends in disappointment. It's just unacceptable. I wish there was something the FA could do. Well, they're powerful, and they've got to get Mike Ashley out of that club. He is a disgrace. So yeah, that's it really. I think Steve Bruce is under pressure as well. I don't think he will keep Newcastle up. And I think I don't think he's the right man for the job. I don't think he ever was, because he's managed Sunderland before. And I think, it's not looking good for Steve Bruce. They've got us this weekend, Man United. I will be so angry if we don't win this game against Newcastle. I think we're going to win the game. But I'll get onto that later in my predictions. So let's keep talking. So the next thing we're going to look at is this the beginning of the end for Pochettino? As I said, we are already, Gareth Southgate apparently was linked with the Tottenham job. Not heavily, but there's rumours, there's paper talk all the time. But Pochettino, you lose to Colchester United in the Asda Cup on penalties. Okay? Then you lose to Bayern Munich. You don't just lose to Bayern Munich. You get humiliated by Bayern Munich from an Arsenal reject. Sounds harsh, I know. A player that wasn't even good enough for West Brom has scored 4 goals for Bayern Munich in a 7-2 win against Tottenham in the Champions League. That is quite embarrassing. And I've got a stat about Tottenham as well, and this will make you feel worse and feel much less confident going into the game against Brighton this weekend. It's an important game for both teams, really. And I think I'm going to watch the game against... I'm not going to the Amex, but I'm going to be watching the Brighton Spurs game at the weekend. It's one of the games I'm going to particularly be keeping my eye on. I've got... Hang on a minute. I've got a team sheet here. So, Brighton and Hove Albion, Tottenham, referee John Moss, subs there. And I've got the Newcastle, Man United. Mike Dean's a ref for this one. Newcastle fans don't like Mike Dean very much. I know that. But anyway, as I was saying, I think Pochettino is really, really feeling the heat. I think his players are not happy with him. I don't think the Tottenham players are happy at the moment. Narrowly beating Southampton is papering over the cracks. That is papering over the cracks. You're expected, with no disrespect, Southampton have some good players, but you're expected to beat Southampton at home. And I think, Tottenham, they are shit this season. Absolutely shit. Eriksen, I don't know why you just don't let him go. The players don't seem very focused. And it's just not going right for Tottenham. They've got no proper right back. They had that in Kieran Trippier, but he's gone to Atletico Madrid. It's Serge Aurier. It'll be Kyle Walker-Peters, who I think will be playing at right back this weekend against Brighton. But, this is an important game for Pochettino. He needs 3 points. This is a must-win game for Pochettino against a Brighton side who are struggling at the moment as well. And, I think both teams play in a similar way. I think it's going to be quite an entertaining game. At the Amex on Saturday lunchtime kickoff live on BT Sport. So there's a lot that go into this game at the moment. I think this is a huge game for Pochettino, and it's a must-win game for Tottenham. Absolutely. And I think he's lost the dressing room personally at the moment. I think he's lost the dressing room. It's not looking good for Spurs. So just wonder how that's going to go. Right, next question is, are Leicester and West Ham going to get into the Champions League? I'll tell you what, these two teams are on fire. Leicester, 5-0 against Newcastle. Vardy's on fire. Ndidi's on fire. Ricardo Pereira scored back-to-back goals. Maddison wasn't playing. It could have been much more if James Maddison was in the team. But, yeah, fair play to Leicester. They're doing absolutely brilliant. And West Ham as well, beating us 2-0. Well, that's it's no surprise, really, to beat Man United these days. And they've got a 2-2 draw at Bournemouth. I said Bournemouth would win the game because they're at home, but they let me down just about. I thought I would want Bournemouth to go on to get a winner. VAR had its say as well. Ake had a goal disallowed, so that was a shame. But yeah, I think Leicester will get into the top 4. I'm not sure about West Ham just yet, but I think Leicester City are good enough to get into the top 4. I think they're absolutely fantastic at Leicester City, and I think Brendan Rodgers is doing a sterling job at the King Power Stadium. I wasn't making a joke about Sterling, don't worry, because Brendan Rodgers didn't get along with him at Liverpool very much. When will Nathan Jones be sacked by Stoke? I think it will happen today, personally. They have to get rid of him. Stoke City, the club, the rugby team of the Premier League, the rugby team of football, the team that always used to, beat Arsenal. The team with Tony Pulis and Mark Hughes. The team with Peter Crouch, who used to knock the ball in it all the time. And used to, say, can this team win at Stoke on a Tuesday night? Yes. Nathan Jones has to be sacked. It's unacceptable for a club like Stoke, who were 2 years in the Premier League, 2 years ago in the Premier League, and the bottom could be going to League One. That's not right. That's not acceptable. Stoke, stop being patient. It's good that you're patient with your managers, but you've got to get rid of him. I mean, how long does this have to continue? Do you want your team to finish bottom of the Championship with 2 points and not win a single game? Because that's the direction it's going in. I mean, I'm not even a Stoke fan. I'm a Man United fan. But, gee, I mean, have some sense, Stoke. I mean, he don't look happy. He don't look like he wouldn't want to be there. He, to be fair to the guy, he's been honest and saying, look, I haven't got enough results. I haven't been good enough. I think he knows that he's going to be sacked. So, I don't even think he wants to be at Stoke anymore. Look, he might have said, yeah, I don't want to walk away from the job. But, I just think, just part your ways and bring somebody else in. It's not that hard. Bloody hell. Who will win the Champions League? I think Juventus will win it. I think they will. I think they've got Ronaldo, obviously. Won the Champions League many times with Real, and he's won it with Man United, of course. They've got De Ligt at the back. I can't see why they can't go on to win it. I don't think Real will win it. I think they're too vulnerable. Barcelona, good contenders. I think it could be a Barca-Juve final. Bayern Munich, again, they could be contenders for the title, but I think it will be Juventus. Will all Premier League new boys stay in the Premier League? Do you know what? At the moment, I think yes. I think they will. I think all the new boys in the Premier League will stay up in the Premier League right now. I know Norwich have a very poor away record. They've beat Man City, of course. They've got a win against Newcastle. Got a big game against Aston Villa. That is a big game for two newly promoted teams. Villa will be fine. I think they've got a lot of quality in the team. And I think they're going to do okay. Right, so that's the end of part 1. Now we're going to go on to part 2. It's been 17 minutes. See you later.